Hey, it's Irreverent Aegis here, and in this video we are continuing the Glass Aegis DK Challenge series. If this is your first time watching a Glass Aegis challenge video, let me get you up to speed. The Glass Aegis is an actually viable DPS tank hybrid. It is mag-based, has all blue CP into damage, runs double ice stabs, wears 5 pieces of light armor, and features the sets Alkosh and Olarima. For the theory crafting that went behind the Glass Aegis DK, check the video description for a link to the full build. Now, whenever my group runs the Glass Aegis challenge, we don't bring a healer. The idea is to see just what DLC dungeon hard modes we can handle as a group of 4 DPS. In this video, I bring you Castle Thorn hard mode. On other challenges, such as Moongrave Fane and Unhallowed Grave hard modes, if you bring enough damage, you can bypass mechanics. So my group could get away with simply going for the straight burn, and I could get away with not having to do heavy tanking for an extended period of time. What made this one special is that you can't simply skip mechanics like you can on other hard modes, so I actually needed to be able to do some heavy tanking while keeping up my DPS and support rotation. Usually my group does a little prep work before we attempt to clear hard mode with the Glass Aegis group. What this involves is getting to the final boss in a dungeon, activating hard mode, and then doing a few practice pulls for about 10 to 15 minutes, so I can get an idea of what to expect from the boss when running this build. It is always completely different than what you have to do with a traditional tank. Almost every attack the boss hits you with will kill you if you aren't blocking, including light attacks. Dots are almost always a death sentence if I step out of my own self-heals, so I have to be very aware of how mobile the fight is going to be. Heavy attacks, and a lot of other things, of course, must be roll dodged. Sustain is much different as well because my stam pool is low, all my attributes are into mag, but most of my abilities are mag, and I also block with mag. Then sometimes there are unique mechanics that I need to be able to survive through. After we do the prep work, we usually call it a night, giving me time to figure out just how to adjust the build to match the situation. And then, the next time we go in, it's game on. This time around, to both my surprise and my delight, we actually one-banged the hard mode, and somehow we only had 1 death in the process, and it wasn't me. So what adjustments to the Glass Aegis build did I make here after our little test run? Well, you may notice my total health is just over 23,000. I usually run this build at 18.7k, not counting any in-dungeon buffs, but here I didn't have much of a choice. Because the best food to run for this hard mode is, in my opinion, Rezorga's Smoked Bear Haunch. Gold food that gives you health, health recovery, stam recovery, and mag recovery. If there were a food or a drink that gave stam, mag, stam recovery, and mag recovery without any health bonuses, I would have opted for that instead, but alas, that does not exist, so I had to settle for a little larger health pool. I also ran Purge on my front bar and Vigor on my back bar. Every time Lady Thorn swipes you, you get a stack of some debuff that I believe makes you take more damage per attack. This can, however, be purged, hence running Purge on my front bar. From the looks of it, I didn't actually need this on my bar, and I could have replaced it with another ability, but I wanted to play it safe. I ran Vigor on the back bar, and this was in particular for the super happy fun time moving circle phase, because I can't stand in my own Cinderstorm when I constantly have to be moving. Even though in our test run we didn't get to the execute, I hoped this would be enough heals for the execute. The last 2 changes I made were that I ran Decisive on my front bar instead of Charged, and that I slotted on my red CP tree Expert Evasion for the routine free roll dodge. Decisive was the right choice because I wanted to get my Magma Shell back as fast as possible for emergency situations such as being about to die, or in situations where I was running low on resources. I also wanted to make sure I had Magma Shell for the execute for when Lady Thorn flew back down. The free roll dodge, obviously, was crucial because this fight involved a ton of roll dodging, and if I ran out of stam and couldn't roll dodge, it would have been an instant death for me and I would have wiped the group. Right now in the video, we're about to push Lady Thorn to 20%, which will get us into our second super happy fun time circle phase. I, as you can expect, was skeptical that we'd be able to pull this off. I thought there would be no way I could survive the Blood Guardian while managing to pull off all the roll dodges necessary, and then also, after that, somehow manage to survive the execute. Turns out that with 4 DPS and an Alkosh proc, those Blood Guardians were a complete non-factor and never stood a chance. They melted faster than a stick of butter in the microwave. In fact, because of our high DPS, this phase looked more like a non-hard mode because every time an ad spawned, it pretty much instantly died. Now, to help everyone survive this phase, we actually had 1 DPS run Barrier. That essentially gave everyone one Get Out of Death free card, where they could miss a roll dodge without consequences. You can see a little while ago where I actually ran out of stamina and couldn't get out of one of the AoEs. The Barrier saved me, and then I popped Magma Shell to get my resources back. Because our strategy was to kill the Blood Guardian right away, that meant that we would get a second Blood Guardian before getting the 4th scamp, which of course ends this phase and brings us to execute. So between now and then, we were just biding our time and making sure we didn't make any stupid mistakes. I, of course, was simply accumulating ultimate so that I would have another Magma Shell for the execute. Now you see that the Blood Guardian is back up, and at that point, we had only thrown 2 of the 4 blood corruptions necessary to end the phase. So after we make quick work of him and his 1 million health, we finish off the final 2 scamps, and I throw the final 2 blood corruptions. With that last one being thrown, we'll have to roll dodge Lady Thorn one more time before she comes down. Notice that my Magma Shell is back up and ready to go. I taunt the boss ASAP, and our DPS who is running Barrier pops it off. It worked really well because with all the recent roll dodging, I didn't have enough stam to roll dodge an explosion, and it saved my life. Of course, immediately after that happened, I popped my Magma Shell, hoping we could do the last 3 million or so damage before the 12 seconds ran out. Turns out, we were pretty close. And we had a cool clear. So there you have it, Castle Thorn hard mode on the Glass Aegis. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button or leave a comment, or both. And of course, if you're interested in more tank shenanigans, please hit the subscribe button.